Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this show is my morning coffee show where we drink coffee and talk about what's going on in the world today. Oh, by the way, happy month of October. By the way, Halloween is just 30 days away. Because I'm going to praise that more than I'm going to do Christmas, because Christmas has enough people praising it. You go into the store and there's like Christmas decorations everywhere already, and it's like, okay, people, you have just killed Christmas. There's not even Thanksgiving decorations. I think, you know what, we should just celebrate Halloween until Thanksgiving, and then we can, and then we can celebrate Christmas, because I want all the Christmas fans to just, I know there's Christmas fans out there, like, who are fans of Halloween. I just want the Halloween people to be like, how do you like it now? How do you like having a holiday shoved up your nose? Trying to be censoring myself for YouTube, because BitChute will allow me to say ass, so, oops. The thing that, well, the algorithm is just kind of looking at this, so you imply why I was trying to change that. So, yeah, I want to talk about, before we talk about anything else, I want to talk something about something serious. Politics. So yeah, I know people on this show have watched me talk about politics, and they've watched me talk about social stuff. They've talked about things that have happened around the world. Today I want to talk about the presidential debate that happened 2 days ago, and something I just want to address here too, and something I just kind of noticed too when watching this debate as well. Like, I watched snippets of it, and I watched people cover it too, and all this stuff, and I honestly have to say, I have to get this out there. I know I was going to try to do something sneaky with it, but no. Or clever, but the truth is I'm voting for Trump. I'm sorry. Looking at Joe Biden, looking at his track record, and then looking at Trump's track record, I'm going to go with Donald J. Trump. Before there, I thought I was going to say the other guy, but honestly, I'm voting for Donald J. Trump. I don't care what you call me, a racist or not. First of all, I am not a racist. Do not call me that. I'm tired of being called. People are tired of being called that. If you want to resort to me being called a racist, go ahead. Call me a racist. Call me a Trump pansy. Call me every name in the book. I've called Democrats every name in the goddamn book too, so might as well. But honestly, I still love you all. Gee, I love you. I love you all. There. And yes, I bruised my finger. Pinched it. Honestly, if you looked at that presidential debate, Joe Biden got his ass kicked by Donald J. Trump. And he also, let's be honest, Trump also kicked Chris Wallace's ass during that debate too. It seemed like the moderator was, I'm going to admit this too, the moderator seemed like it was debating Trump as well. And it was kind of against him too. Like, Trump was trying to speak, and like, Joe Biden got his ass, like, both Joe and Chris got his ass kicked by, and Chris Wallace both got their ass kicked by Donald J. Trump. And I honestly like that, because it's like, the two men, like, Trump still won that debate in my mind. Like, people were like, oh, Trump, he was rude, he was doing this, he was doing that. It was like, it felt like 2016's presidential debate with Hillary Clinton. And I'm going to be honest with you about this too. It's, they mentioned a lot of things that were going on in this world. Like, granted, I can talk about policies and stuff like that, but like, the big ones to me were China and, Antifa, which, by the way, exists. There's videos of Antifa beating people, and I'm tired. And I post a lot of stuff on Facebook about this, and people either just are Antifa sympathizers, or they just ignore it and just say, well, they're not that big of a threat. Which, by the way, I think they are, and I think they started the fires. And I know I'm speculating there. I know I'm not really good at, like, getting the information out there, but there is something fishy about that group, all right? Just look up the Weather Underground. Just trust me on that one. Or just look at the Communistic Manifesto for taking down a country. You'll be seeing a lot of that around here too. So, another thing that's really been bugging me about this, and about this presidential debate too, is the fact that, like, Joe Biden seemed to be kind of stumbling on his words, and there's also, like, videos out there of people looking closely at his ear and his, like, hand right here in his jacket. Like, there seemed to be, like, a wire sticking out, and that could have just been, like, a prompter for something or another. I don't know. But I'm going to play devil's advocate. It could have been something else. But then again, the mainstream wants Joe Biden to win. They want this guy to win. They don't want Donald Trump to win. And honestly, I'm afraid if Joe Biden wins, because he's showing signs of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer. I'm gonna call Alzheimer's because it's an Alzheimer's disease. He's stumbling upon his words. He's saying shit that doesn't make any sense, and he's kind of doing the telltale signs of Alzheimer's. He's forgetting where he is most of the time. He's not campaigning as much. People joked about Donald Trump being the Volt guy and hiding in the Volt during the riots and stuff like that. But the truth is like that's how you protect the president. The president is like one of the most important people, but yet when they're trying to protect him, it's like everybody's jumping on him. Then again, Joe Biden was hiding in his goddamn basement, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. Then again, I'm not going to get angry about that. I just want to be reasonable here. And look, I don't care who you vote for, but make the right decision, all right? And this is not a decision of Democrat or Republican, right versus left anymore. This seems like more of a battle versus good versus evil. I know people are going to be up my ass about this, and I know I'm sounding crazy, but look what's been going on recently with the riots, the groups involved with it. And if I mention one of those groups, I know I'm going to piss people off. And I know it's not just look up and I need people to look this up too. And don't look up it on Google, because trust me, do not trust Google. I stopped using Google a long time ago. Look it up on Bing or DuckDuckGo, and look up BLM Marxists. You'll be finding a lot of surprising things. Hell, the BLM website took down what they were saying about just dismantling the nuclear family, getting rid of the moms and the dads, basically. Well, getting rid of the dads, the male role models. Hell, look at Antifa, for God's sakes. They've been doing a lot of, for a group that promotes anti-fascism, they've been promoting a lot of fascist ideology, censorship, taking things down, deleting things. Oh, this must be deleted. This must be removed. It's like I'd rather leave it up and hear their opposition talk about this and then debate about it. We have to have those debates. We have to have them. And I know people out there are not going to like this too. Hell, wearing this is going to make a target on my head. So, and also probably the thumbnail for this. But honestly, I don't care anymore. I really don't. I'm tired of, people telling me to shut up, or, oh, you need to do your research, or, this or that. I have been doing my research. I have been studying this. I've been listening to, the facts. I've been listening to this. Just because I'm not going to, kowtow and be like The Rock, which, by the way, that was disgraceful. Honestly, and I wasn't surprised either, because, The Rock choosing, endorsing Joe Biden, because celebrities have to. All right, that's part of the rule now. It's like, if you're in Hollywood, you're not going to get any work if you support the current president. If you support Joe Biden, yes, you're going to be fine. And The Rock kind of sold out to me. He kind of did, but I think secretly he is a Trump supporter. But I think secretly he is. He just basically sold out. That I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris, who, by the way, Kamala Harris, couldn't they praised her for wearing, Timberlands during, when visiting the forest fires, and, by the way, she couldn't mention, a current rapper that was alive. Now, granted, I'm not a big rap guy. I like hearing it when it's up there, when people are listening to it, I'll listen to it too, but honestly, I'm not a big rap guy, and I can't. And if you ask me, I couldn't really mention a good rapper that's alive right now. I'm gonna say Jay-Z, but that's just me. That's just an example. But anyhow, my concern about this is basically this: is that taking a look at I want to talk about the Rock thing too. Granted. I love most of the argument people make out to be, oh, he's a tough guy. He's pretending to be a tough guy. Which, be honest, between him and Jocko Waco, I think his name is Jocko. I forget the guy's name, but he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he does his own podcast. Jocko's a tougher guy, but The Rock is also a tough guy too. Like, you know, he did wrestling, he played professional football, he kind of did his own stunts. You know, he lifts weights. You know, tough guy stuff. But if you look at Jocko, it's like, he's tougher. Like, let's be honest. There's a scale to who's tough and tougher. I mean, The Rock's probably tougher than me, but then again, I do construction, but then again, I'm not as tough as Jocko, because Jocko looks like Jocko is a tough guy. Let's be honest. He doesn't look like it. He is a tough guy. And yes, my nose is crooked. Damn. Ugh. Do you think I should get plastic surgery? Never mind. Fuck that. Funny story about this. So anyway, it is spooking me a little bit. I mean, because people are willing to vote for Joe Biden, even though he is showing signs of, of Alzheimer's. I mean, like, and just the shit he says too, like, or but telling, black people, if you don't vote for me, I guess you ain't black. That line, the corn pop story, the King Conhurted storytelling and stuff like that, calling, minus the whole cockroach incident. What else did he fucking do? I'm trying to think. So I have Alzheimer's now, so, what was the one thing he was, he getting into arguments with people, like, aggressively, like, telling, calling somebody a fatty and then challenging him to a push-up contest. Was one. There was another one where a factory worker, a union worker, was talking to Joe Biden about guns and, like, talking about his AR-15. Like, what about my AR-15? Like, you talking about taking away my my right to defend myself? And he's like, oh, that's bullshit. And he couldn't get the right weapon in general. He was like, the AR-14. And I'm like, arguing with people. And then, like, the whole incident where he was at that, I forget, I think it was a military base, or it was a military base, and he was talking about his son Biden and his wife. No, the two decisions that he made. And then this is a clear as day video of him talking about, the two best decisions he's made. And I think the first one was marrying Jill, his wife, which he mentioned as his sister. And then his wife, and then telling the audience, telling a bunch of soldiers, clap, you stupid bastards. Clear as day, telling them to clap, you stupid bastards. Meanwhile, President Trump gets browbeat because speculation and supposedly a thing without real evidence. There's no real evidence of him saying this. Only, a rumor, and also what's the word I'm looking for? Shit. Well, it's not speculation. It's, like, supposedly said that the guys who died, talking about a gravesite, talking about the military gravesite, he was like, or were suckers and losers, which honestly, I don't buy it, because honestly, if you catch him saying it, then you might have got him. But honestly, this is not like, grab him by the pussy, all right? Clear as day, he said that and took him out of context. And granted, I know people out there, it's like, I can't vote for Trump because I believe in his plan, and it's like, Trump hasn't done anything good, and, he failed with the coronavirus. No, bullshit. He actually he did travel bans for Europe and China, and everybody called him a racist. Did everybody forget about Nancy Pelosi, the Royal Highness, who said, go party in Chinatown, that shit. And because think about this, anything he does, they do the opposite. I don't think eating bat soup is, I don't think eating shit is good. Oh, eat shit, it's really good. It's like, it kind of does remind me of that a little bit. Alright, I'm talking long enough, so I'll make another video, so give me a second.